Hi there. Do you find yourself crashing in the middle of the afternoon, reaching for that sugary cookie or sugary snacks or caffeine just to keep going for the rest of your day? Well, that's a common problem that I see in midlife. And it's actually sabotaging your weight loss efforts more than you realize. Today, I'm sharing why it happens and how you can start fixing it now. If you've had energy crashes like this, comment me in the comments so we can support each other. If we have not met yet, my name is Nicole Dalton. I have been a physician assistant for almost 25 years, now turned menopause weight loss coach. I help women, specifically 35 and over, lose weight for the last time by eating real food and exercise. If you want ongoing support, inspiration, and a community of women just like you, then come join my Facebook group, Weight Loss for Midlife Women. We would love to see you in there. If you're ready for more personalized weight loss coaching, comment ready or simply schedule your free one-on-one call with me. Spots are open soon, and I really would love to help you succeed in your weight loss journey. So let's dig in. I have a client that I have been working with that has lost 25 pounds. She's doing amazing. She came to me and she told me she had a huge sweet tooth that she really didn't think that she could control. She felt like she needed something sweet, something candy or a cookie every afternoon, okay? And she felt like she didn't have control over saying no, even though she would wake up every morning, go into her day strong, and say, this is the day I'm not going to have sweets today. But then stress of work, lack of energy, that she felt by the time 3 p.m. rolled around that she would be in her candy drawer, eating candy, finding something to give her quick energy because she was drained, she was stressed, and she felt like she was just out of control and could not kick this habit of that 3 p.m. snack, okay? This was me. I was there years ago as well. So I get that urge and that craving, that sweet tooth, okay? So, but fast forward just a couple weeks working together, she told me she didn't even crave sweets. She didn't even want sweets anymore. And she couldn't believe that she kicked the sweet tooth that she thought she couldn't, okay? And then fast forward again, 4 months later, where she's now lost 25 pounds and hasn't eaten any sweets because she just doesn't want them. Not because she's depriving herself or feeling like she can't eat them if she wants to, but she just doesn't want them, okay? So you can make this happen. We just have to do a little bit of investigating, a little bit of tweaking here to really figure out what's going on to cause your sweet tooth, and just rip off that label that you've been labeling yourself. I have a sweet tooth and I just can't get rid of it. Like, just rip that label off because you can get rid of it, okay? And I want to take you through what we did together to kick that craving of that afternoon snack. Or if you're a late night snacker, this will also work for you too, okay? So the first thing is here, understand why you are having these cravings, okay? So a few different things are playing into more cravings during perimenopause and menopause. The first thing is hormones, okay? As estrogen and progesterone are dropping, insulin is rising. That is causing our sugars to come up. This is why we see prediabetes and diabetes starting to pop up in perimenopause and menopause, because our glucose is all over the place too. We're seeing rises and spikes and then quick crashes because of that insulin level. So this is part of why you're noticing more urges and cravings, okay? But this is also leading to overeating Or I feel like if you're like me, once you start eating the sweets, then you're eating 2 sweets the next day and then 3 sweets the next day. So really digging into understanding what's going on here will be helpful. So the hormones are causing this increase cravings, our stress, okay? I have yet to meet a woman in her 40s or 50s or 60s or beyond that is not feeling stress, okay? Stress with work, stress with kids, stress with taking care of aging parents, stress with your partner, stress with doing everything, right? So we're in this sandwich generation and we have stress coming all over at us every single day. So that's part of it, but also the way that we're handling stress is heightened during this phase in life. So if you were to have the same stressors in your 20s and 30s, you probably would be able to handle them better. But you throw those stressors now, our stress response is heightened, okay? So you're not going crazy, I promise you. That irritability, that rage, right? It's actually real. You're not going crazy, and it's because of these changing hormones, and our stress response is heightened. That makes us feel like we're constantly stressed and on overdrive, right? Like we just can't calm and relax because we're running to the next stress. So this isn't good though, because when we're stressed, the last thing we care about is our weight loss goal. When we're so overwhelmed and angry and stressed, right? We're just gonna eat the darn cookie. So the stress, we have to work on our stress response to then be able to control some of that emotional eating that comes up during this phase in our life too, okay? And one of the last reasons this is also happening is we're tired, okay? Us women are struggling with our sleep. Who else is feeling tired most days? You might be having night sweats or just not sleeping in general, or just feeling that lack of estrogen and making you feel tired. Okay, so when we're feeling tired, our body is telling us we need energy, right? Caffeine or sugar or carbs. Sugar and carbs gives us that immediate energy boost that our brain is looking for. So especially mid-afternoon, we've had a long day, our energy starts to tank, then we're looking for sugar and carbs. Or late at night, I have a lot of women who struggle with late at night cravings. It's because we start to get tired and our brain is trying to keep us awake because we've got a million things to do, that we're then craving sugar and carbs, right? So this was one of my biggest triggers, is feeling tired. I would notice mid-afternoon that oftentimes I feel like I just needed candy or a cookie to get through my day. But when I really got intentional and really started exploring and getting curious why this was happening, I realized I was just tired. And then what happens, what I've learned is through our brain signals are telling us to eat whatever sugar and carb or flour is around us because it gives us an immediate dopamine rush. It makes us feel more energized. So if you have access to candy or cookies or sugar around you, your brain is going to tell you you have to have it. And it feels out of control, right? Like you feel like you can't control this craving until you go eat that darn candy, okay? But it's all in your brain. And if we can understand, okay, when I'm tired, sometimes I just need a big glass of water, or maybe sometimes I just need to sit there and do some deep breathing techniques, or sometimes I just need to sit and rest for 5 minutes, right? And once I started to understand that and see that in myself, then I felt like I could help my clients even better to understand some of those reasons around their tiredness or around what was causing their cravings and urges, okay? So just understanding some of that is so important, okay? So how do we fix this, right? How do we fix this mid-afternoon snacking or late evening snacking? How do we fix it, okay? So I've got 5 things here that I'm gonna walk you through how to fix it. First thing is, which is the most important thing, is simply just eat enough. So many women I talk to are just skipping lunches because they get too crazy busy at work. So the first thing I want to tell you is would you expect your employees to just skip through their lunch and not eat? No, you have to stop and spend 10 minutes, 5 minutes to eat a quick lunch. You have to eat. Okay, so if you are not eating enough nutrition through your day, then your body is going to send these intense craving signals to you that you feel you cannot control, either in the afternoon or evening, where you feel like then you're just overeating because you're hungry. And you don't realize that by skipping these meals, you're setting yourself up for more intense cravings. So make sure, look at your meals. Are you eating a good breakfast, lunch, and dinner? If you're not, then that is the first place I'd start, okay? Then the second place is looking at those meals and making sure those macros are balanced. And what do I mean by that? Like when you're looking at your plate, you should have like half your plate should be full of vegetables. A quarter of your plate should be protein, and about a quarter should be some fats, okay? So make sure when you're looking at your plate that you've got a nice balanced meal with protein, fats, and carbs. And those carbs should be coming from your vegetables, some sweet potatoes, quinoa, brown rice, right? Those foods are those healthy carbs. Proteins, you can do plant-based proteins, meat, Greek yogurts, cottage cheese, have some kind of protein. And then your fats could look like avocados, nuts, seeds. Those are your healthy fats that you really want to be including. So make sure your meals are balanced, okay? The third thing is be super careful with intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is a great tool for weight loss and longevity, especially in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. Okay, it's a great tool, and a lot of women use this as a lifestyle. So they don't only use it as a tool for weight loss, but they feel so great they continue to use intermittent fasting as a lifestyle. So, but be careful if you are someone who binges or really feels out of control with their food. Oftentimes, if you dabble into intermittent fasting, that can cause more cravings and urges where you tend to have more binges. So be super careful there if you're dabbling into doing some fasting. The fourth thing is, sounds so simple, okay, but if you're not already doing this, take a look around you. Take a look at your workstation. Take a look at your home pantry, okay? I understand so many women will say, well, I have kids or I have grandkids that come over, so I do want something kind of sweet and special for them. Okay, if you can stay out of it. But if you cannot stay out of it, then don't have it at home, okay? They don't need the sweet treats either. And if you do want to have a sweet treat, make it harder. Like you have to drive somewhere to go get ice cream, right? So set up your environment to get rid of those foods that are so tempting for you, okay? The foods that you're going to snack on mid-afternoon or evening, just get them out, okay? Your body doesn't need them, okay? Even though it feels like you're out of control, you can take back control by doing some of these things, okay? And by setting up the environment means also being prepared for that sweet tooth. So what I do at home is I really do try to keep all the extra junk food out of the house as best we can, especially the foods that I like and I enjoy eating. I don't want to have them around because if I am having an urge, then I'm more apt to eat the darn cookie, right? So I know that about myself. So if I just don't have it, then I don't eat it. Sounds simple, but if you're like at work or in a social gathering and there's food around you or people are bringing in donuts or cookies at work, then what can you do so when you do have an urge, you're not going and actually eating that darn donut? So be prepared for your sweet tooth, okay? I tend to always have a little package of dark chocolate chips stashed away in my fridge, like up in the butter drawer, that my kids don't know about. So when I have an urge or a sweet tooth, I feel like I just am struggling getting through that urge and resisting it, then I take a few pieces of dark chocolate. And I tell you, it makes a world of difference, okay? Or if I'm really on top of things, I'll have some protein balls or some healthy muffins, or, ooh, I've got these awesome chickpea brownies. They're amazing. My 15-year-old loves them. But if I'm really on top of it, I'll have made a big batch and froze half of it. So I have it in the freezer. So I have a quick go-to if I am having an urge. At least I'm going to something that's sweet, but it's much better swap, a much healthier option, okay? And the last thing is just simply get curious. Stop blaming, stop shaming yourself, okay? It becomes just this vicious cycle where you're constantly either giving in and making yourself, uncomfortable in the moment by not giving into the urge, or you're giving into the urge and having the cookie, and then you're beating yourself up afterwards. So that cycle, we just have to get out of that cycle, because I don't want you to blame and shame yourself and talk to yourself in a negative way. So many of us do that, and it's such a vicious cycle. And that is something big that I help my clients work on, because a lot of losing weight is mindset. It's one thing to know the nutrition part, but it's a whole different journey and different work when we're working on all the mindset that comes behind not only losing weight, but more importantly, keeping it off. So how we talk to ourselves is big here. Okay, so stop shaming and blaming, and actually just get curious. Think of it like an experiment. Get curious about why you had that urge at 3 p.m. Was it because you felt tired? Was it because you were angry? Was it because you were stressed? Was it because you were just simply tired and needed a break? Okay, so get curious about what's causing those urges and cravings, and actually pause for a moment and reflect on it and name the feeling, okay? So I know this sounds really woo-woo, but it's really important to name the feeling. Understand what your body is feeling. If you're like me, for years, I would ignore my feelings because I don't like negative feelings. I don't want to be sad and angry, right? But I have come to realize that was not healthy, and you have to be able to sit with your negative feelings and emotions and feel that, and stop rushing through and ignoring all those feelings because you don't have time, or you don't want to sit with them because they're uncomfortable. If you ignore them, that's how these bad habits start to really show up, with sweet tooths and cravings and urges. You have to explore your feelings, okay? So naming the feelings, knowing why those triggers, what's triggering you, whether it's the time of day, whether it's your location and environment that's triggering your craving, or simply the way you're feeling, and getting curious about that, and really taking time to explore it and journal and think on it, because that's what I feel like most women have never been taught, and just kind of skip right through it. So that is a big piece there. Okay. So those are the 5 things you can do today to avoid cravings. Eat enough. Make sure those meals are balanced with protein, fat, and carbs. Be careful if you're using any kind of fasting or intermittent fasting, intentionally or not intentionally. Fasting over 12 hours can then bring on more binges and urges if you struggle already. Set up your environment is number 4. Make it without those temptations. And the last piece is getting curious. Stop blaming, stop shaming, get curious. So I'm curious, what's your favorite way to boost energy naturally? Okay, share your tips. I might include them in my next video. If you have found this video useful, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps me get this information out to more women who need it. And also, don't forget to join my Facebook group, Weight Loss for Midlife Women, where I share exclusive tips and live Q&As. The link is in the show notes. And lastly, if you're ready for more personalized coaching, comment ready, or simply schedule a free one-on-one call with me, because spots are opening soon for weight loss coaching, and I want to help you succeed. Have a great day.